The college basketball experience pregame show for Saturday, January 25th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with that promo code TCE SGPN. You get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Saturday pregame show. I don't have Beanie here. He's definitely asleep. Trying to figure out how to do this is bigger, huh? Yeah. How are you? YouTube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. I should probably have a banner and stuff like that, but I am always unprepared when it comes to this shit. I am prepared when it comes to picking a few winners today, and the slate is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna start right there with the Pussy Pack in 58 minutes. The Pussy Pack of NC State hosting SMU, and I see the line movement. You can actually get another half a point on the value of the Pussy Pack. I don't understand this line. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm just going to go right into it. Before I even introduce myself, give me the Pussy Pack on the money line. And they're in Raleigh. And I know we got some fans that were there. They tagged me at the stadium. Shout out. If you're going to any games today, make sure you tag at TCE on SGPN for that. Because it's part of the college experience. Is essentially doing shit like that. So anyway, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Kobe Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Yes, sir. Sir. We got some answers here. Shout out to the chat. Sorry, I got the show suspended by YouTube last night. My apologies. Shouldn't have played that mash music. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to say, I don't give a fuck, and let's play it. But yeah. Sorry if you were looking for the episode this morning, you couldn't find it. It's on me. I am joined by my co-host on Saturday mornings. He's the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast. He is the host of the WNBA Gambling Podcast. But he got to start right fucking here. Give it up for the great Terrell Furman Jr.
What's going on, Kobe? How you living?
Oh, there we go. I'm doing good, man. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Morning to you from the East Coast.
Oh yeah. So I mean, we got a loaded Saturday slate. We've been doing this for a while, and part of my handicap on these early morning shows, specifically this one, is to fade North Carolina A&T, and I say that with love. As they head into Stony Brook.
Yeah.
Both these teams are complete ass. But Stony Brook, so both are winless in conference.
All right, not too much.
Stony Brook, the point has, or the spread has risen. You're on board with me, Seawolves?
I'm not locking them up. No way. But first of all, I think you're crazy if you're locking up a team that's winless in conference. I think that's insane.
They
But
lost 8 straight, and I'm
Stony Brook,
locking it up. Yeah.
that's crazy. All right, you got it.
But I've been super sharp on A&T, man. I had them in the points against Hampton. I had them against Central.
I mean, hey, look, those are. I could have picked those. I told you to play Central. Come on now. Now, what I'll say
You did
about
tell me
A&T
that. Yeah.
What I'll say about A&T and Stony Brook game, and I know that this is ATS show, but the over is the play. Neither one of both of these two teams give up like 75 points a game. Neither one of these two teams play defense. You're going to see a bunch of scoring regardless. And that's the only reason that I don't want to play Stony Brook is because I know A&T can come out there and not play any defense. The ball can fall their way and they can shoot the heck out of the gym and end up with a win. But I think the over is a really great play here. We've been playing the over for North Carolina A&T all year.
Yeah, that's at 148.5. So jump on over there and do that.
It was at 147. They're 13-7 to the over and 9-2 on the road for A&T. So I may not know much about them winning the game, but I know the games go over.
Yeah. Shout out to Scott G. Hey, appreciate this. Glad you found me on VSiN. Appreciate that. I'm going to stay in the, well, I know that game was in Stony Brook, but it involves North Carolina A&T, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina. I hit on this right from the start. I don't take NC State much, but I think NC State is a smash play today as SMU travels into the triangle to take on the Pussy Pack. SMU is laying 3 or 3.5. I think shout out to Scott Bowser.
See Bowser next month. Going to Vegas. See Bowser next month, man.
There we go. It's gonna
take me to the dispensary.
There we go.
Wait, can I say that on air? Is that
you
good?
can?
I think I can.
We encourage that. You're with me on this NC State play, right?
No. I think of NC State. See, that's why Bowser's taking me to the dispensary because I think of NC State like dispensary weed. It looks good and everything may sound good, but it's still the Pussy Pack. It's not the real pack. It's not the loud pack. It's the Pussy Pack. So I think of them like I've never had a good experience with dispensary weed. That's why I'm going to Bowser to a Las Vegas dispensary to have a good experience. But it's never a good experience. So why would I put myself through it? You can have the Pussy Pack. I'm taking SMU all day.
Wow. You're gonna bet that too?
I might be talked into it by the end of the show. I don't want to bet it.
Not
right
by
now,
me.
but
I'm on the Pussy Pack. I think SMU is phony in basketball, and I think them in the ACC, despite the ACC being way down, is you. I was on Louisville the other day. Louisville went in there, destroyed them. I made the mistake of taking SMU early in the year against Duke. Duke won by like 1,000. They're just not a basketball school. They're just not. And to me, that's not that the Pussy Pack is anything fantastic.
No, man. SMU has a pretty good resume.
Pussy Pack live today. That's it. NC State. One thing I'll say about the Pussy Pack, their fans do show up for their sports. This isn't like Miami or something. So it's a tough place to win, and I think the Pussy Pack get it done. Pitt is at Syracuse.
The chat is now talking. I'm sorry, guys. I prefer the illegal weed. Give me the illegal one before the legal dispensary bullshit. That's like Kobe and his war against domes. His war against domes. That's how I feel about the dispensary weed right now, man.
I thought you were talking about my. Yeah, I thought you were talking about my alcohol dealer. I prefer to never give.
You don't get it from the store. You get it from a dealer.
I do. Well, I did in LA. I need one out here in Carolina because goddamn, what the hell is up with here? You got to go to a special store just for booze.
Yeah.
I have issues. But that's why I'm looking for an alcohol dealer here. If anyone knows anybody, let me know. I prefer to never pay the state anything. All right. And the less I pay the government, the better I feel about my life. All right. So
the illegal is the way to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're always looking for it. If anyone knows anyone that makes some booze, I just want to see them taste it before me.
You out there in North Carolina, head over to the 252, and you can get. I know some guys that make the moonshine, but they make it in the ground. That joint, it's a little bit of dirt in there, but the alcohol kills it.
Yeah, look, I'm on board as long as they try it first. I'm like on some.
Yeah.
I'm on some Game of
All
Thrones.
right, so you
shit.
got to come to homecoming.
Like, hey,
so come to homecoming
you try
next
it
year.
first, then I'm in. All right.
October 11th, I think. October 11th, October 14th, one of those days. Come to homecoming next year. We're gonna have the good moonshine. That you'll enjoy that.
I do owe you a trip there, and I want to go. I've never been, but it's got to be for. I was thinking about this the other day because me and Nick were talking about games to go to, and I was like, I can't go to an A&T game until they're playing Central. Like my first experience should be when they're playing Central.
Yeah, either the Central game or a homecoming game.
Yeah, unless ECU's on the schedule, I can't do it. I can't do
ECU's
it. So
scared after that last L.
Oh, there we go. Scotty Montgomery, the mole that Duke put in there. Pitt is laying 7.5 or 8 at the Qs. I like the Q. Pitt. What happened to? What the hell happened to Pitt? Pitt's been terrible lately.
Beating shit.
I mean, they've lost 4 straight. Their only win was what against the Bay Area schools that are in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I mean, Pitt may win, but I'll take the Qs plus 8.
I don't know, man, Kobe. You and Sean tried to sell. I hear y'all talk about the Qs, and then I watch the Qs, and I'm like, no, this team actually really fucking sucks. Like, they're really bad, and when they lose, they lose bad. 5-6-1 as an underdog this season. 3-6-2 at home.
Syracuse is healthier now, though. They had key guys out during that stretch.
All right. I'll take Syracuse. I don't like it, though. I think they suck. I think Pitt sucks, too.
Pitt can win. This old school Big East rivalry. I will take the Qs plus the points. Lock it up.
Is that a rear view slate game? No, it's not. Right outside the rear view slate of 12:30. 12 o'clock slate. Rear view. Very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the early morning slate.
Things are more dangerous in the rear view than they appear.
Early morning slate, for the most part, is shit, with the exception of the return of Ed Cooley as Georgetown heads into Providence. Shout out to Clark in the chat, who I know is a diehard Hoya fan. I hope Georgetown wins in a way, but as a gambler, I cannot take them. Look, they're a young team. You're asking for back-to-back road wins in conference. I don't like that. Also, Providence fucking hates Ed Cooley. They compared him to fucking Hitler last time, which is a ridiculous comparison, but they will show up and they will boo the shit out of him. The energy in this building will be insane. Give me the Friars and Kim English. What are you doing here?
I don't know. You don't think Ed Cooley getting up for this?
I think he's going to try to get up for it, but I just think Providence is going to be ready for this.
Nah, I think I want to go against you here. I think because Villanova's really not that good. I don't think that's like a defining win that you're now, not prepared for this Providence team. Ed Cooley gave Providence everything, man.
Oh, I'm an Ed Cooley believer.
Yeah.
Just not today.
Nah, I'm believing Ed Cooley. Ed Cooley gets the win on the road here at Providence. This is a huge game. And this Georgetown team is slowly starting to play a little bit better, made some of these games, game against Marquette, game against St. John's competitive, even was competitive in the UConn game. Like, I feel like they've been starting, they just haven't been able to get the dubs. They start collecting and get 2 in a row here. Give me Georgetown to get it done.
Battle.
Yeah, all right, I'm with you. It's Ed Cooley. I feel fine betting.
Spinal.
We got a battle at the dunk. Dundee on the Hoyas. I'm sorry, Dundee on the Friars. Terrell on the Hoyas. Shout out to Jay Steele. Says shout out to the NBA Gambling Podcast. Scott and Moonaw. What about Terrell? Get in there.
I wasn't on the show yesterday.
Oh,
that's all it was. I wasn't on the show yesterday.
All right. Well, still, he was there in spirit. All right.
Appreciate the love.
Next up, I'm curious your take on this.
Cuss out the listeners.
Yeah. Curious your take on this. Howard is getting 10 points at Norfolk State.
Because boy, hey,
yeah, there we go.
Did you see me stop? Yo,
10 points at Norfolk State. There you go. See, I nailed that. Norfolk.
Yeah, good job.
Norfolk State. Look, I'm really high on this Norfolk team, but I think that's too steep for Howard. I think Howard, that's Clark's locking Norfolk. I will take Howard plus the points. I mean, Howard's lost 2 embarrassing games back to back. It's somewhat of a rivalry, I would say. I don't know that it counts as a rivalry game, but I feel like they play often enough that it's kind of a rivalry. I'm taking the points. What are you doing here?
Yeah, so the reason that you should definitely be on Norfolk in this spot is the fact that they are the clear-cut, far and away, way better team than Howard. I think Howard actually sucks. They've been rolling and they beaten, not the best of competition, but they beaten some competition. They were laying 13.5 against Coppin State and covered that. Like, I'm not thinking of anything like that. But look at Norfolk State past few games. They're coming off a loss at Morgan State. Morgan State's a tough place to play. And then they dominated Coppin State 92-69. Nice. They dominated Delaware State. They dominated all the Maryland schools. I'm sorry, Eastern Shore. And then look at this, all the way back to last year. Remember that game against Tennessee? And remember how they were hanging around there with Tennessee and like,
I like their
that
team.
game was, like they're a really good team. They're back at home after a loss. I think this is where they empty the kitchen sink and absolutely destroy this Howard team. I know it's 11.5 points. I don't think it's too much. You have to lock up Norfolk State in this spot. I think they're going to win by 15 to 20 points.
See, but Howard is this team that beat Wilmington. Like that Wilmington's like the best team in the CAA right now. I mean, Howard's not. I get it. They lost 2 bad games. I just think that number's a little steep. I think Norfolk wins by 7, 8, something like that. Excited to watch that one, but yeah,
it's going to get into a point in the second half where Howard may be in it, and it may be like a 5-point game or something, and then Norfolk's going to go on like a 10-0 run.
And this place, well, let me ask you this: will this be lit for this game?
Yeah, for the most part, because it's a Howard, and it's also like Howard. You got the MEAC still. Like I think that there's still going to be a good amount of people in there, and it's a small enclosed gym. It's not like it's big. Like you can have a small amount of people and it feel like a lot more because how small Eccles Gyms is. Eccles, that's what it's called, Eccles.
Shout out to Tree Sap, who's going to go see Salt Frazier and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in DC at the GW game. Tag us in that at TCE on SGPN. Shout out to Troy Tuning. Shout out to Jeff Sharp. Wow, Jeff Sharp coming at you, buddy. Coming at you.
Yeah. Fade me. It's cool.
I've
only lived there and watched the team my whole life.
One of the plays I like, I'm curious about this. Well, actually, no, this one I have not bet, but it was a battle between Noah and Mac last night. Mississippi State is like 6.5 in Columbia, South Carolina. Oh,
sorry.
What's up?
Nothing. Come on, keep going.
Mississippi State's laying 6.5 at South Carolina. Look, South Carolina should have beat Florida on the money line. I had that game on the money line. I cannot believe they pissed that away, but they covered.
Yeah.
They almost beat Auburn there. They're going to get one of these, right?
I mean, are you afraid of this being the spot of South Carolina where it's like you had the big game against Florida and you just kind of don't get up from Mississippi State the same? Mississippi State, really good defense. But Lamont's been playing really, really well, and he does have to get one of these wins, especially if you're talking about March.
Yeah, Beanick went with the Gamecocks. Mac went with Mississippi State. I teetered to the South Carolina Gamecocks. I just didn't place the wager because it seems a little too obvious to me. Seems a little bit too obvious to me. Now this one I did go in on. Michigan State is taking on Rutgers at the Garden. I think that actually hurts Rutgers because if it was at the Rack, I would like that a lot more. Izzo and Sparty are laying 5.5. Is it still 5.5? Yeah. Oh no, I'm seeing 8.5 now. Holy shit. What a big jump. All right. Well, that changes it to me at 8.5.
So is somebody out?
Let me double check that. But
I'm trying to look and see. Is somebody out?
I mean, I bet this last night at 5.5, but at 8.5, I actually think you should consider taking Rutgers. Yeah, that's a big difference right there. I know
all the Michigan State fans in the chat saying that Izzo sucks in MSG.
He does historically, but I actually think this is like his best team in a while. So, and I also think Rutgers is a young, like traditionally Pikel Rutgers teams are like great defensively, take good care of the ball. This team is way more offensively, skilled, but they're fucking young and they're actually, this is his worst defensive team in a while. So, I will take Bowser says he sees 7 out there. So
it looks like Harper's a game time decision. I guess that's probably the reason.
Well, then that tells you he's probably not going to play, right? So,
or they're not expecting him to. If Dylan Harper isn't playing, then okay, here it is. So 16 minutes ago, Dylan Harper is questionable for today's game against Michigan State due to an ankle injury. Yikes. Yeah.
I'm all over Sparty here. I mean, I hate to tell you guys I got it at 5.5, but I did. Enjoy at 7.5, at 8.5. You got to think Rutgers at 8.5. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you stay away if you're going to take it because you need Harper.
Yeah, I gotta wait. I have to wait and know 100% fact if Harper is in or out the game. That's going to make the difference for me. But if Harper's in, I actually do want to take Rutgers if he's in. I told myself that Rutgers is going to be a team that's going to be really, really annoying to some of these teams with the fact that they have 2 guys that can score the basketball literally whenever they want. And they were super duper competitive, and they were super duper competitive when those guys were healthy. And then when Harper went down with that illness, they kind of fell off and looked like nothing of the same. I think Dylan Harper makes this team different. So yeah, if he doesn't play, I don't care if I get the worst of the line. I'll lay it with Michigan State.
Yeah, and I do agree. This Michigan State team, to me, I think could be a Final Four team. I mean, I'm not going to say they are because you need to see a bracket. This is the best Michigan State team in some time to me.
Yep.
Sometime. Like, speaking of the best team in some time, maybe ever for Iowa State, as they head into Tempe, Arizona, laying 9.5. I even think there's a 10 out there. I got the worst of this number. I got 9.5. I took the Sun Devils just because I think Bobby Hurley and Arizona State over the past 5 years have been the strangest fucking team in college basketball. Remember that time they won? What was it, at Kansas? Or they beat Kansas. I don't know if that was neutral, and they still ended up with like 12 wins that year. Like, they're a strange team, but they get up for, like, to me, Tempe will be ready for this one. So Iowa State, who I do think is a really good team, I just don't see them beating the shit out of someone on the road. That is Arizona State. I know has been all over the place. They're 11-7. They have some good wins and some bad losses, just like a traditional Bobby Hurley team is. But I'm gonna go to the well now. Mac did battle me on this, FYI. Mac took Iowa State. I just don't think of Iowa State as some juggernaut on the road. When they win, like they lost to West Virginia the last time they went out on the road. The time before that, they needed overtime. They were down double-digit majority of the game to Texas Tech. They ended up getting that win. They did win by 10 at Colorado, but Colorado, I say this as a Buffs fan, Colorado's fucking terrible this year. So, yeah, I think Arizona State's the play.
Yeah, I like Arizona State too. I think this is a team that can get up for this game. They play better at home. They've lost the past couple of home games, and I think that is what really gets me up for them trying to get out early, really establish themselves in this game with the top 5 team coming to town. Like, that really changes the year. That changes the year if you're Arizona State. Honestly, you just got to win against Dove V on the road, and now you're here at home with a chance to keep it close or try to get a win against Iowa State. And I don't know if they 100% win outright, but I think this is a game they keep close.
I can see it. I can see it.
I can see it, but I think that I love the points because I think this is a game where at the end of the game, if you lose by 3 or 4, you put that on the resume and say, hey, we took a really good Iowa State team at home and we lost by 3, or we lost by 1 or 2 possessions. Like I can see them really, really getting up for that, especially in the last moments of the game. So I'll back with Arizona State here.
Let's go. Sorry, David Matola. We know he's a Wildcat fan. He's in there to spewing hate against ASU. For what it's worth, Arizona will destroy Colorado today, too. I forget what that number's at, but full Arizona parlay if you want. Sun Devils, stay within the number. Mookie for life saying depends on how hungover they are. That does play a factor. But regardless, the fake tits will be bouncing there in Tempe. Bowser saying he got it at 10.5. There we go. Shout out to the legendary. Check out my guy Scott Bowser. Yeah. Check out the Luck Stops Here podcast. And here's an interesting one for you. Harvard is playing Yale. This is a legit rivalry. Time is 6-10 this year. It hasn't been their season. Yale is 10-6. The last time they played, Yale did drill them by 20. But why am I just jumping on Yale here at 13.5? I just think more times than not, these games come down to being single-digit games. I have a rule in the Ivy: I never lay double digits. Give me Harvard plus 13.5.
Jesus Christ. Yale's won the last 5 meetings.
But how many by more than 13 points?
Okay. The last one was last game was by 20. The game before that was by exactly 13.
So we cover. We're getting 13.5. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So the second and last was exactly 13. After that, it is 11.
Cover.
4-point win.
Cover.
And then this is them getting a win as a 1.5-point dog.
See, but this is what I'm saying. In the Ivy, I just have a system. You don't lay double digits in the fucking Ivy. They have the same level of talent. The Yale is a better basketball program than Harvard over the past,
clearly 5 meetings.
Yeah.
Clearly over the past 5 meetings.
Their culture is better, but still, you can't tell. 13.5 is like gigantic in the fucking Ivy League. So I will take the points with the Crimson. I got to ask about your Tar Heels. They're laying 19. They're laying 19 as
well, I don't get bring the cold, but they're counting down.
Boston College walks in there. Earl Grant coaching for his life. Hubert Davis coaching for his perhaps. I don't know. I mean, maybe they keep him another year. I'm not sure. It's a big ass number.
Yeah, because BC sucks. But North Carolina sucks too. So but North Carolina sucks because they had expectations sucks. BC actually just sucks.
Yeah, I'll take the points, but I'm not going to bet this. It's
no way I'm betting this. In no way I'm laying 19 with North Carolina right now. I'll take the points too, but I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if North Carolina won by like 25. BC does actually. BC legitly sucks.
Yeah. I got one that I like. I think Vanderbilt's going to beat Kentucky today outright. This line has come down a point since yesterday. It's at 2.5. The Commodores are plus 115 on the money line. A lot of the reason why I like it is, I just find, first off, they have Tennessee on deck, and Kentucky and Tennessee is a legit real rivalry in football and basketball. It's also the sleepy spot. I don't think your team gets up for a game at Vanderbilt. It's also on that fucked up court. And let's dive into some of the numbers here. Vandy's the 71st ranked defense.
Who is this? Kobe, who is this?
What's that? Who's
this? More to game. More to the game podcast with Coach
Colby. Hey, there we go. Coach Colby. From one Colby to another. Let's go. I think I know who this is. It
sounds like you. Sounds like your burner.
I got another one there. That's my burner.
Sounds like your burner.
Shout out to Damani. Man. Shout out to Damani. I know he's a Vanderbilt fan, but and Tyson's a Kentucky fan. And yeah, I think the thing for me is it's a sleepy spot. You got Tennessee on deck, and Vanderbilt. Mark Byington. To me, I think this team is a little underrated. You know, when I've watched them, I've been very impressed. Even though they're coming off that loss to Bama where they didn't cover. This is a team that's top 20 in the country in steals. They're 10-1 at home this year. I think they're going to get it done here. Terrell?
Yeah, I am on Vandy. Hopefully, our leader Diego Pavia is in the crowd.
I think he will.
Gives them like it just feels like Diego Pavia is there. You're like, oh man, we could really do it. We watched them do it in football. We could do it here. Like, come on. So yeah, no, I think this is a really good spot for them. I think they get up here for this Kentucky game. It's something about Kentucky that it feels like that they are figuring things out over the course of the season and realizing, hey, we are a really big team and we're always going to get other teams' best, like absolute best. And we have to be on our game 24/7. We can never have a letdown. We can never ease up because teams are always giving us their best. And I think a lot of the players, you know, new Kentucky team, a completely new team than last year, new coach, all of that, they're kind of experiencing this a lot for the first time. So I don't think they're handling it the best. I like the Commodores be able to get this done.
There we go. I'm with you. I've already bet this shit. I actually got, no, I got the best of the number because there's 3.5. I was going to say I got the worst. Shout out to Coach Colby. It's Colby Johnson, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
704.
There we go. We got room for more than one Colby here. All right.
Shout out Daquan.
Yeah.
The only thing Diego's pissing in is a urinal.
Watch, don't come at the king, man. Don't come at the king. Shout out to Daquan. Texas A&M is heading into Austin, Texas. This is an interesting one because it crossed over 0. Yep. A&M was favored by 1.5. Now it is the Longhorns minus 1.5. The over under at 141.5. I can't take Texas here. Texas won in football. I know the history of this game. I like this. First off, I just feel like A&M is just a way better team than Texas this year. This place will be lit. McConaughey will probably be there. I don't give a shit. I think Wade Taylor being back for A&M is a big deal. I'm going to take the buzzsaw to get things done.
Any concern? They just got drilled by 20.
No, A&M beat Ole Miss at the buzzer, right? Or pretty much at the buzzer. You talking Texas? No, Texas beat Mizzou.
No, when A&M played them at home and drilled them by 20. Texas.
Oh, any concern on January 4th?
Yeah, earlier this year.
I honestly just don't think Rodney Terry can fuck with buzzsaw. I just don't. I think their team is more inexperienced. Texas A&M had the most experienced team coming into the SEC this year. I think it's a good spot.
Oh no, I don't have a feel about this one. I think this is going to be a closer game. I'll take Texas A&M. No lock for me.
All right. Doug Gottlieb and Green Bay are getting 15 points at Cleveland State. I did bet.
Oh my gosh. Next game.
Take Gottlieb. Everyone's going to be on the opposing team. No, New Mexico is heading into Vegas.
All right, this sounds better.
I love UNLV here. They're off that embarrassing loss at home to Wyoming. New Mexico is only laying 3.5. I know New Mexico is a better team, but it's all about the spot here with UNLV. I'm going with the Rebs at the Thomas and Mack Center. They won 80-77 last year, and now they're 3.5-point dogs. Let's go. What are you doing?
Yeah,
they
won 80-77, and that was at New Mexico as a 12-point dog.
Oh, wait, did they lose in Vegas then?
No, they won in Vegas too. They've actually won the last 3 meetings. They've won the last 3 meetings, 2 in New Mexico, 1 in Vegas, and that last one, 80-77. They were a 12-point dog. Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, let's go.
All right. I'll roll with the Rebs.
Let's go on these UNLV running Rebels. Lay it. Georgia, Florida, the Mike Snow White game. Pushed out the door by the Florida Gators. Now they got a coach who's got Florida number 5 in the nation, despite sending dick pics to every girl in Gainesville. Snow White has revived Georgia, though. They're probably the best they've been since the 80s Final Four team with Dominique Wilkins and company. Florida's laying 10.5. I think this will be a little closer. I think Florida will get that win, but give me the 10.5 with these dogs. Lock it up.
Last 5 meetings between these two teams, you have 3 games where Florida was laying 8.5, 8, and 8.5 again. They did not cover any of those games. Anytime they've given Florida a large amount of points, Georgia has found a way to keep it close. I'm rolling with Georgia.
Let's go. Oregon is at the barn in Minnesota. What is this number? Oregon's laying 4.5 at Minnesota.
All right, come on, Darson Garcia.
Yeah, I'll take Minnesota. So the something's up. Something's up here.
That's clearly where they want us to go.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I'll take Minnesota as well. I will lock up UCF minus 4.5 at home against TCU. UCF is just a way better team than me. TCU also coming off of the tough loss to Kansas. Before that, they won a rivalry game. Now they got to go to that strange trip to Orlando, Florida. And UCF coming off the road. Yeah. Iowa State lost everything. I think the Golden Knights get them.
They had the close game against Houston where they ended up losing at the end. Very good game. And then it was a dream crusher spot. They go on the road to Iowa State thinking, hey, we just fucked around with Houston. Let's try to go keep this close with Iowa State. And they get drilled. So this is the clear bounce back spot where they get a TCU team that isn't good. Like they're just not a good team. And so, yeah, I'm with you all the way. Feel good. Very much lock up UCF here.
I'm with you, buddy. I am with you. And speaking of locks, a season ago, I think we had one of the all-time pussy moments in the sport when Kyle Filipowski had his leg almost amputated after he tripped a Wake Forest fan storming the court.
Very dangerous.
And then he had to be carried out. It was a terrible tragedy.
He never played basketball again after that.
Yeah, never played. Our thoughts and prayers are still with him to this day.
He didn't even make the NBA.
Didn't make the NBA. The next game, which I know he was questionable, he did not even. You saw his toughness with that amputated leg doing that windmill dunk against Louisville. Then even worse is you then saw all of America from an analyst point of view provide themselves with how pussy they are. Hearing Seth Davis and just so many of these people come at this is you can't do this in the sport. This is a player safety issue. John Shire bitching. I mean, one of the worst moments in our society, I think, over the past 100 years, if I'm being honest. Please, if I could wish one game today, Wake Forest, please win this game and storm the goddamn court. All right. Please. Duke is laying 11.5 at Winston-Salem. What are you doing here?
I may not have the most faith in Winston-Salem. I mean, not Winston-Salem, in Winston-Salem. Well, same thing, but yeah. I may not have the most faith in Wake Forest in this game, but there's no way I'm taking Duke in this opportunity, because if there was ever a chance that Wake got this done and I wasn't on the right side, I'd never forgive myself. Never would. I would have liked for Wake to have lost this game in North Carolina and then be playing this game and be, feel like, hey, all right, but now they're feeling themselves. They just beat North Carolina. They've been rolling. I think they won like 5 straight. That doesn't make me feel good about Duke coming to town, but Duke also should not be laying this many points in not only an ACC game, but in this close town rivalry game. No. So I will take Wake Forest. I don't feel the best about it. I will admit that.
Yeah. I'm betting this just on general principle.
Yep.
I can't say that I feel amazing about this game just because Wake to me has been all over the place in the Steve Forbes era. But please,
that's a lot of people that put their money on Duke too. So there's a chance that the public could just lose here.
Yeah. Here's another stinky one that I think this has convinced me to bet on. Well, Baylor is only laying 1.5 at Utah, and Utah's terrible. They scored 36 points the other night. I am going to bet Utah because what is this number? What are you doing here?
How many losses can Baylor really take at this point?
I mean, they're coming off the K-State win where they came from.
Why
They
is
just
this only
haven't looked
2.5
good.
though?
That's what I'm saying. I see 1.5 out there too.
Yeah, you got some sneaky elevation there. I just don't think of this Baylor team as Baylor teams a year past. They're still fine, but Baylor teams in years past could go on the road and be able to dominate. Look at Baylor right now. They're 0-7 ATS on the road this season. Like, how do you take that?
Yeah.
How do you take that? They're 0-7. When they're not in their building, they do not cover the spread. Yeah. I'm good. I'll take Utah.
It's almost like the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
But I think this is even
parlay
worse.
Utah and Minnesota, and that's the barf parlay of the day. Yeah, that's your barf parlay of the day. Parlay Utah.
There you go.
Minnesota.
Bring your barf bag. Bring your barf bag. Shout out to Joey
Brown paper
Lobster.
bag.
What's that? What'd you
One
say?
of those brown paper bags that you used to carry around. It might be leaking a little bit, throw up out the bottom.
Just gotta stay the course. Don't panic if it's first half. Stay the course. Clemson
Stay the course.
Clemson is -9.5 in Blacksburg, Virginia. I know you were saying Virginia Tech.
Sucks. Move on. Virginia Tech sucks. Take Clemson. Lock it up. Move on. No, we don't have to talk about it. V-Tech sucks.
What happened? What happened? Buzzsaw had that thing going.
They gotta fire everybody, man. Virginia Tech has an issue of not firing everybody and just starting the team over.
Their athletic director really does suck, though.
After the ACC tournament win, that should have been thought of as, okay, this is the highest we're gonna get at this point with this group. Now we have to go into the NIL era and bring in a whole new team. They have yet to do that. They will continue to suck until they do. So yeah, Clemson later points.
I have a parlay I want to give out here. So Washington State and Oregon State are playing in the WCC this year, which I think has made the WCC much more interesting because you have much better school. It's a much better conference than it's been in a long time. So Santa Clara is at Oregon State. Oregon State at home has been fire this year. They beat Gonzaga the other night, but Santa Clara's won a couple in a row, including a huge game against Wazoo, where they were on fire. I think Oregon State laying 2.5 at home, and this team's played on January 9th. In overtime, Santa Clara won by 1. Oregon State's 12-1 at home this year. I am all over the Beavs. I am going to lay the 2.5 with the Beavs. And I think if we parlay that with Washington State, who is playing much later at night against St. Mary's, who has just been on fire, but St. Mary's just won a rivalry game against San Francisco. So, and St. Mary's, if you don't know, folks, is right outside of San Francisco. So that was like a crosstown classic.
I can't wait till Oregon State and Washington State see the bracket for the WCC tournament. And they're like, holy shit, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we're
what the fuck
in,
is this?
Right? We got to beat Gonzaga. We're in.
We just got to climb our way back up to the top.
Dude, I think Wazoo, not only do I like the 5.5, I actually think it's worth a money line sprinkle aside from the parlay. But the parlay to me is the old school Pac-12. Take Oregon State, Washington State, parlay that thing. 5.5. I think it's a classic letdown spot, and Pullman's one of those tricky, tough places to get to. So, yeah, that's on CBS Sports Network. Load up. Let's fucking go. Back to the insane slate. Doesn't seem like you're on board with my Pac-12 parlay.
No, I like it. I like it. Maybe not as much. I think I like Washington State more than Oregon State, but I'm willing to roll with Oregon State getting some revenge and a short home number, and they're really good at home. Like you said, it's 12-1 ATS at home. That's nothing. There's nothing to shit about. When you're at home, you beat teams by what you're supposed to beat them by. So yeah. I definitely think we could play that. We got the Pac-2 parlay. We've got barf bag parlay. We've got some things going today.
Let's go. Chris Beard and Ole Miss have lost back-to-back games. They lost the Egg Bowl on the hardwood in overtime, and then A&M broke their hearts. A&M was
hey man, that's buzzsaw as a dog. That is the buzzsaw as a dog.
But
hey,
Ole Miss was up like
Kramer,
95% of that
game.
Did
you show with Kramer after that?
I did the on VSiN, so we didn't. He couldn't be himself as much, you know. And he's on TV. He got to button up.
I feel like next time you're on, he's definitely talking about that A&M win because the buzzsaw is a dog. Very good, man. Very good.
Well, that's why I like Chris Beard here. I look. Missouri is ranked for the first time in I think a year and a half, and Ole Miss coming to Columbia, Mizzou. They won by 14 the last time they played. I think Ole Miss is the play here. They're getting 3.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah. I think, and it's also the defensive intensity here. I think that it just makes me nervous that it's a road game. And I'm trying to come back and back them to win a road game in the SEC. Still a pretty tough conference, and I think Mizzou's been playing well. But I think the offensive rebounding and the level of defense that they can turn around and hit a switch with, like that travels on the road. And so I can see Ole Miss getting up. And again, Mizzou is good, but I think Ole Miss is better. I think Ole Miss is the better team, and I think Ole Miss is the team we're talking about in the tournament, talking about in the SEC tournament moving forward. If these two teams were to play, I on a neutral court. So yeah, I'll take Ole Miss here. I think they get it done on the road.
Let's go. I'm with you. The entire chat was talking about this next game. Houston
Mizzou lost to Texas too. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's true. And I was on Texas. Houston is at Kansas. The whole chat was talking about this about 5 minutes ago. Houston, I can't remember the last time Kansas was a home dog at the Fog. I honestly can't remember. It'd have to be like I don't know. It's been a long time, I think, since they were a home dog.
Let's see if I can figure that out because I can't think of any time. Even when they're playing like a top 5 team, they're still probably favored by like 1.
I just can't. I have to bet Kansas on general principle. Like you're all like, and I don't think this Houston team's as good as the previous Houston teams, like of the past 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna give Kansas. You're gonna have them be a dog. So the players know this shit. The coaches know this shit. This is bulletin board material right here. And I think coming into the season, they know that like most projections had Kansas and Houston battling for the top spot in the Big 12. Now it seems Iowa State's that team, but I'm saying, this is a game that I feel like you've had circled all year. I'm gonna load up on Kansas here. I know KJ Adams is still out, but I don't care. Like,
all right, let's see here. So the last time Kansas was a home dog was last year to this Houston team. Last year to the Houston
in the Fog?
Yeah, in the Fog. Kansas home, Houston 78-65. Kansas was closed as a 1.5 point dog. Before that, it was 2021. Kansas was playing Baylor at home. Kansas got the win. By the way, they won these games, just so everybody knows. Yeah. But Kansas got the win against Houston, 78-65, February 3rd, 2024. You got February 27th, 2021. Kansas got the win against Baylor, 71-58 as a 4.5 point dog. And then in 2016, so outside of the normal years, 2016, the Dukies came on the road to Kansas and thought they were going to get a win, and they lost 77-75, and Kansas was a 2-point dog there. So it's pretty easy here. You just bet Kansas.
Yeah, I just think the energy of this building. And here's another one, the live bet. If Houston's up 7 or 8 at halftime or in the first half.
Houston's a good first half team. Houston is a good first half team. So, yeah.
Get ready to live bet this one because the energy of this building will steal wins. That's a double lock. Don't overthink it. Jayhawks, Rock Chalk. Notre Dame is at Virginia, and as much as you want to probably carry over the barf bag to this game, I think Notre Dame's better than Virginia. I think we should bet Notre Dame -1.5 at Charlottesville.
I'm not going to bet them. You can bet them though.
Lock up the Irish. They're better. They've been injured all year too, so I think they're better right now than their record is. West Virginia is at Kansas State. K-State's laying 1.5.
I'm so done with K-State. You can, if you're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to bet K-State, you got it. You got it. I'm so over.
I'm not going to bet it, but I'll take K-State because that line's surprising to me.
No, I will actually lock up West Virginia here. Kansas State sucks, man.
Terrell, locking up West Virginia.
Home sweet home to me.
I'm not falling for this again. Kansas State fucking sucks. This is way too short of a line. I don't care if they're at home. This is way too short of a line. They are not winning this game.
I don't know. I'm staying away from that. I think K-State gets it done though. But what else do I like on this board? UConn is at Xavier. It's a big one. The folks are talking about. Xavier's laying 1.5. Danny Hurley's been bitching. It's been a lot of bitching lately. But I'm on Xavier.
This is also when UConn starts to play their best basketball, when they get to the back end of the season, going into the tournament. Liam
McNeely's still a game time decision. I'm not betting this, but give me Xavier -1.5. I think the energy of this building could be the difference too. What are you doing here?
I just think, well, maybe it's because I'm sitting on a UConn 7-1 to finish the regular season with the most wins in the Big East. They don't lose. I think that they can only afford to lose to either St. John's or Marquette after this. And St. John's with the recent loss, I think that they're going to lock into this one. So yeah, give me UConn to get it done. It probably looks ugly, but UConn just figures it out at the end and is able to get the win. But I understand why you would want to take Xavier.
Very hilarious game going on here. And I have bet a 450 money line price here. And I realize this could be a complete disaster.
What game are we talking about?
So we have we figured this out, Terrell, for the most part. Teams on the second game after, now every conference they're across the whole United States.
Uh-huh.
The second game is normally when the team, that's why you saw Stanford beat North Carolina. Cal beat NC State.
Oh, no way. You're not about to say this.
Miami.
No.
Has been in the Bay Area. They got drilled by Stanford on a game I was on. I had Stanford -10. Miami is heading into Berkeley.
Good luck.
I understand Miami's quit on their team, but you can't tell me they don't have the more talented roster than fucking Cal. So is it worth a sprinkle on the 450 for Miami? You don't seem excited about this one.
Bro, Miami sucks. If there's ever a team that quit in college basketball, it's Miami.
I agree, but still, like, their roster. Just saying, worth that sprinkle. That sprinkle.
Can I run back the last 3 games by Miami?
They've quit.
They lost to Duke 89-54. They lost to SMU 117-74 in a 40-minute game.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it, man.
Stanford 88-51. They scored 51 points against Stanford. I mean, if Miami's ever going to I'm sure Miami's going to get one more win before the season is over. Maybe.
But hear me out.
But I am not.
Matthew Cleveland, Nigel Pack, Lynn Kidd. Those guys are better than Cal's best players.
Yeah, but Miami's I can't get myself to see past this Miami team. I know you're supposed to have short-term memory in betting, but like, this has been really bad. This has been a historically bad team.
Yeah, I just think it's worth a shot. You're not often will you get a plus 450 on the money line with a team
And
that's
guess
way more
what?
talented.
Guess what? Miami football went into Cal and stole a game from. No, they're gonna beat the shit out of Miami basketball today. No, Kobe, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, not if you just close your eyes, you don't look at the team and say one has this. The other team's best players is what, Stojakovic?
Unfortunately, my eyes are open. But I'm not mad at a sprinkle. You can always sprinkle on something. But no, absolutely not. I can't do it. I'd rather take that money and just go back.
You just got to know from the start.
Kansas game.
You just got to know from the start you could lose by 50. So Oklahoma is at Arkansas. John Calipari magically.
Is this the two worst teams in the SEC?
Calipari somehow pulled out a win on a game I was on. One of the best covers I've ever had in my life, I think.
Because he didn't need to happen.
Oh my God! Did you see that thing? The missed free throw and the layup.
Yeah, it didn't need to happen.
So beautiful. I'm taking Oklahoma plus 3.5 here. No bet, but curious what you're doing here.
Like, now they're just going to go on the road and win a road SEC game. They just got their first SEC win at home against South Carolina. I will take Oklahoma in the points because I just can't lay points with Arkansas in the SEC right now. I think both of these two teams are rough. This kind of feels like, if you watch the NBA Gambling Podcast, it feels like a toilet bowl game, but just for the SEC. They have wins, but in the SEC, these two teams have been horrible. I'll take the points in two bad teams in the SEC, but I do not feel good about it because Oklahoma just got a huge win, getting their first SEC win against South Carolina at home. They drilled them by 20. I could see them falling right back into the old trap and looking horrible in this game.
If that's the toilet bowl, this might be the championship here. Tennessee at Auburn.
All right.
Janai Broom, game time decision. Auburn laying 6.5. Jordan Gainey also game time decision for the Vols. This is the jungle. I got to lay the number. It's Auburn. that stadium. And first off, this Tennessee team struggled on the road. So
it's different when you're playing at Auburn. I'm tired of fading Auburn at home. No way.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'll lay the number.
Yeah. Lock that thing up. San Diego State. Off a buzzer beater in Colorado Springs are heading to Reno. And what is this? Steve Alford and Nevada been playing like ass all year, but they're 3.5 point favorites or 2.5 point favorites. I'm sorry. I'm seeing 2.5. I'm betting Nevada. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but I'm betting Nevada. What are you doing here?
I don't know. I think I still want to rock with our gals in San Diego State here. They've been pretty good on the road, 4-2 ATS on the road. Nevada, like you said, they've been playing like shit. And this is a really big game for San Diego State. I think they just got the pedigree of they understand they can walk into this building and make this a close game. Maybe this is a thriller and this is a last shot buzzer beater type of game. Maybe. I'll take I feel safe with plus 2.5. I would have liked the 3.5. I actually do see a 3.5. I'm going to take it, Kobe. I'm sorry.
Battling.
Yeah.
Get the parlay ready. While I play this fine music here.
Let's see.
We got a battle in Reno. Terrell on the Aztecs. Dundee on Steve Alford and the Peyote. All right, and we will leave you with a fantastic parlay, and I think it starts with Kansas.
And I think we add let me look at one thing. I think I'm pretty let's add Wazoo in there on the money line. It's plus 215. Yeah. I feel good about Wazoo getting the win.
Oh, if we're doing a money line round robin, then Kansas they're like plus 105. But you might as well add it.
Yeah, so Kansas plus 105, Wazoo plus 215.
Ole Miss plus 135 at Mizzou.
Is there any other option? I'm not mad at it, but is there any other options that when we say that it makes me feel better than Ole Miss?
Minnesota plus 165.
That is the bark bag parlay.
Yeah, maybe we should separate that.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Yeah. You don't want to get when they the bark bag next to your food, next to the food. Like, no way. Don't put the bark bag.
How about UNLV plus 145 at home against New Mexico?
Okay, see, we're getting somewhere.
So that's 3. Wazoo, Kansas, UNLV.
Just scrolling. Oh wait, we gotta put Vandy in here.
Yes, Vanderbilt. That's 4. One more. We're out. One fucking more, and we're out.
Another big.
I mean, do we go with Arizona State plus 450?
I don't know, man. Do they win outright?
Do we go with
scrolling, looking. Well, we split on that game. Does Pitt lose outright to Syracuse?
What about the likes of?
No, let's just call it 4. All
right, don't force it. We got the barf bag parlay already out there, folks. That's our show. Give Terrell a follow on Twitter at @reallyRel__. Check out the NBA Gambling Podcast, the WNBA Gambling Podcast, and all of his work with betting pros. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/The College Experience. We'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Not asking for much. It's all free. All free.
Come on, hang out with us.
Yeah. Till next time, folks. This is the College Basketball Experience. And of course, there'll be a show tonight talking about tomorrow's game and reacting to all of this madness. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
Yeah. I know I'm out of my mind. I've lost my mind. I'm just ahead of my time. I know I'm out of my mind. Rockin' at first was hell without vodka. I pop up in spots, they screaming new clockwork. I'm dilated, the fuck off, I ain't doing it. Before weathermen dropped, they thought I might have ruined it. Elusive, I just deny rumors. Smile and get punchlines with dry humor. See what the future brings. In 03, I got on MTV. Time is fuck, that's the message I'm sending them. Sign with Slug and survive beef with Eminem. I mention different events in my sentences. It's dangerous to reminisce or remember it. Still it's evidence, check 1, 2, 1, 2. Less punches and spit what I've been through. I stayed here, got through, but kept rapping. The same year got sued by Kurt Napman.